Hello and welcome to Spread the Floor. It's the WNBA semifinals. They could end tonight. It's game 4. It's a special night, which means on Spread the Floor, we need a special guest. We called in the big guns. We called in the reinforcements. We called in Debbie Antonelli. I don't really know. I feel like if you're watching this, you know who Debbie is. But just in case, I'll give you an introduction. She's ESPN basketball analyst. She's on everything. She doesn't stop working during the college basketball season or really any season. She's the pride of Cary High, the leader of the Wolf Pack back in her NC State days. Gonna be a Hall of Famer in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame this year, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And not only that, her charity, the 24 Hours of Nothing But Net, raised over $218,000 this year. That's really unbelievable, Debbie.
I love that.
Got it. Other times working against me. I just got to, get some shots up every once in a while to keep the body moving, keep it going. Because, yes, thank you for bringing that up, Gabe. I love that you always bring that up when we talk. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, I have my little, no, I don't. I moved it behind me. I have my little card from the Nothing But Net Foundation. But it is unbelievable. Not only how much money you raise, but how many free throws you make in a 24-hour period. I think it would take me much longer to make the number of free throws you make in that period.
I think here we'll put a line on it. Since we're doing a betting show, we'll have to put a line on how many I'm going to make and see if we can make some money for Special Olympics that way.
I can do that. We should do that. 24-hour live stream here on Spread the Floor. The 24th hour of that's not gonna look good. Anyways, we got me. I'm Gabe. We got Dano and Calvin. Everyone is here in the building. And like I said, huge day of games. We have the two biggest games of the season thus far because the season for two teams can end tonight. Let's start with the early game in order of how they're coming. Chicago is a 1.5 point underdog at Connecticut on ESPN2 at 8 p.m. Game 1 obviously went to Connecticut. Chicago has won the last 2 games fairly convincingly. Debbie, since you're our guest, we'll let you go first. What's your read on this game?
I can't understand how Chicago can continue to be an underdog in this series. I think last year when we were doing this show, they were an underdog just about every time they suited up, and I picked them every time. You guys know I picked them to win last year. I don't understand how they can be, getting 1.5 on this particular matchup. However, I've got a list of 7 things that I think Connecticut can do better tonight. And I believe they will do all of these better. I do think Chicago is who I'm going to pick to win to finish the series tonight because I know Candace Parker doesn't want to play another game. But their shot selection has to be better. And for a team that plays a slow pace, I almost think tonight they need to change what they're doing. Instead of going into their 3rd and 4th option, I think they need to take their 1st or 2nd option. I think that's going to be their best option offensively. So I'm looking for their shot selection to be better. Obviously, they got to take care of the ball. They can't turn it over. They've got to get up in Parker's grill when she rebounds and not let her see all the way up the floor with great vision. She's just too good of a passer. They have all season relied on their defense and their rebounding. Well, okay, let's see some defense. All right. I want to see some length. I want to see their rotations with more energy. I want to see them mixing up their ball screen coverage. I think their body language has to be better. Their transition defense has to be better. And the final thing is they do need to play with more energy. I thought they looked fatigued in parts of the game the other night. If they can clean up, I don't expect them to clean up all 7, but I know Kurt Miller would expect them to clean up all 7. I think if they can pick up 5 of these things, I think it'll be a better game. But I like Connecticut. I like Chicago, and I'll take the points.
All right. So we'll go. Let me get that up there. Debbie is going Chicago plus 1.5, and we are in agreement. I want to put this out there that we all think. I don't know, Calvin, are you in on the Chicago money line as well? You think Chicago's going to win?
I hate betting on the side of this because I feel like Connecticut is going to clean some of those things up that Debbie talked about. But I also just feel like that I can't bet against the sky either. So I don't want to touch either side of this. I'd definitely rather look at the total and props and things like that. But I love that it's going to be so close. I think it'll be more fun for me to watch too, without any money on either side.
a no play from Calvin. Anyways, the three of us have Chicago winning this game, and Dano, you put me onto this Chicago money line. It's gotten a little bit better. It's actually a -108 now. Why'd you like this line?
I'll say this: I felt good about it before, but then as soon as Debbie said 7 things, it made me want to put 7 times my own bet. You know what I mean? I feel really great about James Wade and the overall vibe of this team.
Mm-hmm.
When you got Kurt Miller saying, "I'm going to get fired because you can't make layups," that just spells bad news to me. Let the players start thinking about Cancun getting away from Kurt Miller. I don't mean to be kind of a negative Nancy on how he coaches, but I don't like that vibe. Chicago, championship experience, poise, way deeper team, and just the overall shooting, not just shot selection, but shooting percentage of the Connecticut Sun players is something that I would love to attack. I don't think they haven't broken 80 in a while. They're not going to break 80 tonight. If they try to speed it up, they can't keep up with Chicago. It's a good day to end this series in Uncasville, and I'm happy I won't have to say Uncasville for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as confident, but I definitely think I'm definitely in on Chicago as well. Well, you have another bet though. That's as a prop. What's your prop?
Well, I did take Jonquel Jones over 8.5 rebounds.
Oh,
though.
that's mine though.
Well,
Be taking my
after
bets.
After you told me, that's right.
I have all my stats. Don't be taking my bet.
You said prop, and I just said what I tweeted. But I do love the first quarter under tonight. I think it was at 40.5 at Bet Rivers for -106, which is great value. Calvin and I were talking about this recently. 1 quarter out of the 12 has gone over the total line in this series. Elimination game, I expect the nerves to be there a little bit. I expect both teams to get off kind of slow. So I really like this play here, under 40.5. If you've just been betting quarter unders, you'd be very rich by now. So I think the trend continues. I think the pressure is going to be high. We're riding with that.
All right. Well, then let me explain my Jonquel Jones over 8.5 rebounds. First off, it's good value at +112. And secondly, I agree with Debbie that I think the Sun are going to do some things better. I just think there has to be some more urgency. There has to be some more focus in your game. I think that starts on the boards for Connecticut. As Debbie said, you're built on boards. Show me boards. So I think Jonquel is going to get on the boards. She had 10 rebounds in their last elimination game, 9 rebounds in the first game of this series. She's averaged 8.5 rebounds this playoffs, and in her career, she's averaged 9.8 rebounds per game. 3 games of double-digit rebounds last year against Chicago, so she could definitely do it against Candace Parker. Emma Meesseman poses a different problem, but she's also had success rebounding against her. So I do think there's going to be opportunities on the glass for Jonquel. I think they're going to feed her more inside. I think she's going to be down low a lot more. So I think that rebound total is going to be up for Jonquel. Now, Debbie, here's my question. If Jonquel Jones hits this over, does that I feel like that bodes well for Connecticut? So I may be betting against myself here, huh?
Well, I think Alyssa Thomas needs some help on the glass. There's no question. She can't be the only one. And DeWanna Bonner had a double-double in the last game. I think they have to score earlier in their offense. And they can't get into their third and fourth option. So in order to do that, they got to rebound. I think it's a good play. I like Jonquel getting on the glass, playing with more energy. I do think she needs to be on the blocks a little bit more, or in the middle third, not on the wings, not in the corners. I think that's where she's most effective, and I think she's harder to guard in the way Chicago plays their ball screen defense in the middle third of the floor. So I think there are going to be more opportunities for her. I wouldn't worry about that. I think you're in good shape, Gabe. I think you're in good shape.
Debbie says I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape. That's it. That's the answer. You guys want to move on to anyone else? Calvin, do you have any more plays here that you want to mention?
I mean, I've been taking it all series and it hasn't worked out, but I'm still going with Sun first to score. Jonquel's won the jump ball in all 7 games this year against Chicago, so they're going to get the first possession no matter what. If they can just not blow a wide open layup on the first possession, they're going to be the first to score. So I'm sticking with that one, even though it hasn't worked yet. I hope we get it tonight.
Law of
averages. Sound like
Kurt
Miller.
Yeah, you gotta make a layup. You gotta make a layup, or Calvin's gonna lose money. Please. But yeah, I mean, a law of averages would say that at some point you're going to be right. It's the first score. All right, then let's move on, guys. Let's move on to the showdown. Las Vegas at Seattle. Las Vegas is a 1.5 point underdog. Again, the favorite team in the series, coming in as a dog. ESPN2 at 10 p.m. Obviously, an absolute classic in Game 3. Just one of the best games I think we've seen in WNBA playoffs, at least since I've been covering the sport. And it was an awesome matchup. Debbie, what'd you take away from that Game 3, and where would you think these teams are mentally at the moment?
You guys know I care about offense, so I love watching these two teams play. And I always say the product is the narrative. Well, that was the definition of the product is the narrative. If you watch that game and see the high level of skill, the strategic decision-making, the high-level intensity, the way the game ended, all of the drama that came with it, it was just absolutely amazing to watch. And it was a clinic as well. So you can take lots of parts of that game and look at it through a different lens and find an entertainment value that makes the product a narrative. So that's first and foremost. The last game, Seattle was giving one, and playing at home in that environment when Las Vegas went up by 15 early, knowing that the line was 1, Calvin. Come on, man. I knew they were going to come back, right? I mean, you just know they're going to come back. This game is going to be very similar to the last game. It's going to be back and forth, a 6-0 run, an 8-0 run, an adjustment, an ATO. After free throws, there's going to be all the pieces of managing the clock and managing the game are going to come down to the last couple of possessions again. I like Seattle, and I'll take the points. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Seattle. I do think Vegas will win, but I like the play on Seattle.
Okay, so really close here. So instead of there would be like an and one on that Jackie Young shot to tie the game rather than just being a 2. I like this. I like taking the points here. I think that's where the value is because I agree with you. This is just going to be a toss up right until the end, and hopefully, I'm hopeful that we get a game 5 because that's what I want. But I think it's a sound decision to just take the points here. Calvin, what's your play in this game?
Yeah, I'm all on the Storm as well. I mean, I think a lot of us thought the series was going 5, from the start, and I still think it's going 5. I mean, I took the money line, but I don't mind, taking -1.5 either, or however you want to take it. You can go either one of 2 ways after a game ends like that. When you have a 4-point lead, you miss some free throws, you don't defend with 0.8 seconds left. That was a great play, though, not taking anything away from what Becky Hammond drew up. But I mean, the Storm had it, right? And you can go one of 2 ways. You can either, let that manifest in your head and just completely come out flat, or you can let that motivate you, right? And say, like, we're not going to let that happen again. I feel like the Storm are the type of team that I would lean towards the latter. Obviously, this home crowd is as good as any in the W, in my opinion. So, and I don't think Brianna Stewart or Sue Bird is good. They're not going to let this be Sue Bird's last game for her career. So,
or Brianna Stewart's last game in Seattle.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
No, there's a lot on the line here for the Storm tonight, and I'll give my pick really quick because I think it kind of ties into everything, and I know where Dano's going, so this is gonna be fun. I got the under at 165.5, so I think Seattle is gonna win as well, and I think they're gonna win with their defense. I think the offensive ratings are going to come down a bit. I'm sorry, Debbie. I'm very sorry. But the first 2 games in the series were well under this number. 3 of the 4 regular season games were close to it. Only 1 actually went under in the regular season under this number. But I think we'll be okay because I think Seattle is going to really clamp down defensively. I think actually they may want to slow down as a little bit. I think when they start running, the Aces start running, but that's always tough to figure out until you're in the game and seeing how your team's shooting and who needs the easier shots. So I do think it's going to go under because I think Seattle is going to win. And so if Seattle's going to win, I think it's going to go under. Now, Dano, tell us your pick.
Yeah, I felt like being somewhat of a Lee Corso and saying not so fast. Okay.
You need a pen.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
We need the headgear.
We do. Oh, yeah, they do have a mascot. They have that rabbit. So here's my deal. Vegas has been an underdog. What? This will be the third time all season?
Yeah, something like
I
that.
think twice in the regular season and then in the last game of this series, and that's it.
Okay. So this will be the fourth time. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Calvin. Has Vegas lost outright as an underdog?
No, they're 3-0. I think it was the game 3, and it was the Commissioner's Cup, and I forget, there was one other game in the regular season. They won them all.
I go when I make bets, and I'm using my own hard-earned money. I like to place it with people I trust. I trust Becky Hammon more than I trust Noelle Quinn. They ruined Sue Bird's last regular season home game. They're going to ruin her last ever game. Las Vegas is ending this in 4. They're not going back to Vegas for a game 5. They don't want to take that chance. Anything can happen in a game 5. We know that. Vegas money line, Chicago money line. We're not getting a game 5, either series. I am so confident. If anyone wants to ride with me,
Dano.
anyone wants to ride with me in the comments, give me your best pick. If it's a winner, I'll look at all the winners, put it in the comments. I'll choose one of you. We'll send you a gift card. We're due for a gift card game, and that's when Vegas wins. I'm telling you, it's happening. I love being the only one on this side, and I cannot wait for 10 p.m. My wife is going to go nuts when I'm yelling.
Well, Debbie also has Vegas winning.
Yeah, I have Vegas winning. I
Oh.
just like to play at Seattle. Yeah,
Oh,
I like
okay.
the money.
Well,
Yeah.
Debbie and me on the same side, both games. I feel
Yeah,
great.
we need to get a little graphic with everyone's like the headgear pick. I can do that for next time. No, but I should want to hear more. I want to hear more, Debbie, about the case why Vegas is going to win,
Okay.
and why because So here's my thing. I was coming into the series. I was like, I kind of trust Seattle's playmaking at the end of the game more, and obviously they did pretty well in the last game, but Vegas just had a little bit more juice there. So why do you think it's going to go Vegas's way again?
Well, I think it's about detail. It's exactly what you guys are talking about, like the last couple of possessions. If you go to that last play that Becky Hammon drew up for Jackie, she knew there'd be a switch. Meg Gabor, she put her in that switch, right? And so it's a slip. So she gets a screen. She looks like she's setting a screen. She slips. You put a young player in that situation, and she had her hands down. You could have fouled in that situation, honestly, and put her to the free throw line. So that's how prepared and detailed Becky Hammon is. And when you look over there and you watch her, you're thinking Pop the whole time, right? I mean, I am. I'm thinking, what play would Pop have run here? Well, this is what Becky's going to run. And that's no disrespect to Becky. That's just how much she gained from her time there, what she learned. That is an important factor here. It's a detail that cannot be overlooked. And I think the guard play overall is better in Vegas. And I always take guard play in the postseason. And Asia Wilson is an anomaly, right? She and Breanna Stewart can cancel each other out with their incredible play. And then if you take them out and you look at the rest of the pieces, I just like Vegas from the beginning of the year. I picked them to win it. I'm sticking with them. I do like the play, though, that with Seattle getting 1.5 points.
Yeah,
I think it's that close.
I think that's smart money, but it's just with Vegas, I did not expect Chelsea Gray to be. I mean, she's obviously a legend of this game, and she has so much cachet with everything she's done. This is a next level that I'm not sure we've ever. I mean, I know Mark Schindler just wrote an article about how amazing she is. This is like a next level that I don't think we've ever seen.
It is incredible intrinsic motivation by getting snubbed, right? So that storyline's been talked about over and over and over. And it's the amount of reps that she's put in, but it is the trust in her decision-making late. That's the part of it, the intangible that I'm going with in a late game situation. I trust her with the ball. And I know Becky Hammon trusts her. And, it's hard to get the ball out of her hands with her size. She can put her in so many different places on the floor, and she sees. She's got great vision. So I think she's the difference at the end of the game tonight.
I don't trust anybody more than not even my wife, not my mother, Chelsea Gray taking tough shots over everybody. Just absolutely locked in right now. I who knew the snub would just come? I like you said, Gabe. We haven't seen anyone go off on this kind of a run. 78% effective field goal percentage. A guard, the shot she's taking.
It's the great ones, right? It's the greatness inside a player like that, when just a little thing that can affect everything about your body language and how you start seeing the game. And that's what's happened for Chelsea. She's always been that high level IQ, intellectual, shot making, wants the ball at the last minute, wants to take the big shot, not afraid, incredible courage. So many intangibles right there, but it's also the skill set to go with it, the size, the experience. It's all of that at the end. And she's also a pretty good decoy in those situations as well.
And she's a great quarterback, just understanding where to put everyone. And she has been absolutely unbelievable. Do we have a prop to put on the Chelsea Gray? Calvin, do we have any props there? Are you looking at some? Okay. I knew you had something percolating.
Yeah. This might be a terrible decision. So DraftKings has 17.5 on her points. I put a little bit on the under, not a lot, just a little bit.
Wow.
And you know what? If she passes it, like I'm okay with losing. Like that's one of those, like whatever. I'll tip my cap because, like you're right. She's on a historic run. Like I don't know. To me, NBA, WNBA, college, whatever. If we've ever seen anyone take the type of shots that she has and hit them at the rate that she has for this long of a time. Like we've seen single games at that level of shot making, right? Maybe 2 games. We haven't seen an extended run of how long has it been? Like a few weeks where she's been at this level. And I mean, she can come down like 2 levels from this and still be really good. That's where she's at right now. And I just don't think she's going to, for the rest of the playoffs, shoot 75% on contested mid-range jumpers. She might shoot 60%, which is a phenomenal mark. I just don't think she's going to be where she's at right now. And I'm willing to take the L if she keeps hitting these. That's fine.
I think she shot 60% in the last game.
60% from 3.
And that brought.
It's ridiculous for a guard to be able to do that.
Well, and her and someone said it, like her shot selection is also just extremely difficult. Like she's fading away from the elbow pretty much on a lot of these shots, and there's no coverage you can send at her that she won't dissect. Maybe not on the first time. Maybe the first time you throw coverage at her, it'll work. Second time, it's not going to work. You have to continually change it. I don't think any defense can do that this long out in 3 games, and it's just gonna. I'm really excited to see her. And God, I mean, Sue played a great game too, and it's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I mean it's fun, right? It's compelling, the whole thing. I mean, I hate that it's the second game. You boys can take a nap in the second half of the first game if you want. Get ready for the 10 o'clock tip.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I think that game's going to be close.
I think it's going to be close.
Hey,
yeah,
taxes and Chelsea Gray making tough shots. All I know in life.
Yeah. I think even if that game is not close in the second half, there's a lot of U.S. Open tennis that we need to catch up on. It's just a great time.
Buy another TV. It's too hard.
I have the double TV set up downstairs. You have to. This time of year, there's no way out. You have to have as many TVs as possible. All right. Anyone else got any bets they want to put on the table? No? All right. Now I want some final thoughts though from the Hall of Famer. When's the induction ceremony? That's coming up real soon, right?
Oh, well, we already had it, Gabe.
Oh, it's already happened.
We had it in June.
Had it in June.
And it was great. Thank you for asking. It was unbelievable. My whole family got to go, but I'm so thrilled to be here with you guys. It's good to see Gabe and Calvin. We had a fun run last year. That was fun. We'll have to get back at it. And Dano, it's always good to see you. And I'm thrilled that you guys are following it as closely and providing the kind of insight that you provide to keep our game moving at a fast, accelerated rate forward. So thanks for that. And thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming on. We're following.
Gabe, I just want to jump in real quick and say, so last year when we did these with Debbie, which was so fun, I remember like you would make up props sometimes because we didn't have
Yeah,
props. So you would just make up a random number for a player, and Debbie and I would pick it, right? And Debbie's always pushing, like betting is the next frontier, and people bet on the game, then they watch the game, and it grows the ratings and it grows the game, right? And now we are like a year later with Debbie talking about actual player props. You don't have to make these up. Next frontier. And I love the way that the betting is moving forward, and we keep getting more and more options. It's just a sign of growth for the league, and Debbie is a huge part of that, pushing for that. So shout out to Debbie, and it's really cool to see.
Well, before you say anything, Dano, yeah, I mean, Gabe did a great job making up stuff for us last year to have fun with, and now to really think that, yeah, the next frontier, that's probably what my next hashtag should be. Betting's the next frontier, right? Because that's exactly the way I felt about it for 15 years.
Yeah.
So now we're finally, people are paying attention. And look at your demo. Look at who you guys are. You're paying attention. Like, this is a demographic that is a big part of why gambling is going to bring people to our game. I think it's so critical, and I'm so glad that you guys are a living example of that.
Well, and obviously we love the game no matter what, if we're gambling or not, but it's nice to have this platform to talk about it. And I think a lot of people get a lot more excited about it with the gambling. So it's been amazing. And obviously we're following in Debbie's footsteps here on the path that she's laid, the many, many years she's been on ESPN and on all your television sets. Can't wait for college. While we have you here, though, I do want to make you pick a champion because I'm not sure we'll get you back before the college basketball season. So give us a champ, and then we'll head out here.
You're talking about Vegas, like
for the WNBA finals.
Yeah, I have Vegas from the beginning of the year. I'm going to stick with Vegas. I just think they have too many offensive weapons late in the game and too much offense, and they just seem to have everything going for them. And that environment is a tough place to win in.
All right, so Vegas is Debbie's champion. Hopefully you can come back and continually defend that take to us. So for Calvin, for Dano, for Debbie, I'm Gabe. We'll see you guys very soon on Spread the Floor. And make sure to watch tonight. We'll be back whenever. Well, we'll see. We'll see when we're back, guys. We'll let you know after the night.
We're not playing it.
There may not be a game 5, folks. So we'll see you when we see you. Have a great one.